And on today's show, how to turn professional development days into paydays. Part 5 of this week's series on building out your business with practice development strategies. With nationally recognized author, platform speaker, and personal coach, Anthony Morris. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Innsmark, Life Specs, Backroom Technician. Let's get down to business. Well, welcome to day 5, Anthony.
Thank you, Steve.
Anthony, we're talking today about this book that you have on your site that you can go out and get. I really like this. This is a huge deployment book that I think can really be powerful for the practice of many of our advisors. Walk me through, why did you write it and why is it so powerful?
Well, Steve, we all know that you're not going to go past your local animal hospital or veterinary medicine clinic and see a sign out there that says, "Lost our lease, bring Kitty in 2 for 1 on dewormings and tooth whitening today," right? We're never going to see a dentist practice that says, going out of business sale. We know that professionals have big problems and also make lots of money. And so really to market oneself to the professional, the doctor, the dentist, the chiropractor, gynecologist, anesthetist, accountant, attorney, etc. These are good clients to have. And the thing about them is that they all actually get together for professional development days, just as we do in our industry through NAIFA or through your IMO, broker-dealer, or your agency force to collect some professional development credits to maintain something called a license. Accountants do the same thing. Veterinary medicine specialists do the same thing. Chiropractors do the same thing. Homewood Suites, 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, including dinner, first Wednesday of every month, including a speaker. And this information is available for us. And if you can sponsor these professional development days of these professionals, you get to market yourself to entire groups of people who have similar sort of problems, similar sort of financial challenges and opportunities in terms of wealth management and risk strategy in their life.
Now, one of the reasons why I like bringing Anthony on is because he teaches these same tactics at all the places he speaks, Top of the Table, MDRT, NAIFA. And this is one of the areas that we can bring as a really great sales strategy, or I should say, actually, the better phrase is a marketing strategy. Now, when we look at this, I'm thinking about, let's just take your example of the dentist. So they have to, apparently they have continuing ed just like everybody else.
Absolutely.
They have to stay up on their product lines and their techniques. So I'm going to go ahead and find out about this, and I'm going to sponsor the day. Maybe I'm doing the lunch. Walk me through what that looks like. How long am I going to speak? You're the content king, Anthony. I want to make, how do I frame that?
Well, first of all, you can access online. If you were to go and Google AVMA, American Veterinary Medicine Association, and then enter Mesa or Tempe or Phoenix or Scottsdale, Arizona, up will come the local chapter of the Veterinary Medicine Association. When they have their meetings, who the contact person is. You would then place a phone call or send them an initial kind of befriending email, which is included in the ebook here. Mm-hmm. They're always looking for sponsorship. They're looking for dollars, obviously being not-for-profit organizations like our own NAIFA as one. And one can then approach them with a sponsorship contract that basically says, Steve the dentist or Steve the vet, I'm not allowed to sell financial products when I come and sponsor your meeting. It's going to be about financial literacy and education. And what you're really looking for, Steve, is 15 to 20 minutes during their working lunch. 15 to 20 minutes of the right phrases, the right tools and resources which you're giving to them. It's got to be so good that people would have almost bought a ticket to what you speak for that 15 to 20 minutes. And one doesn't have to go on Toastmasters and be a world champion public speaker. In fact, the tools and resources list and the speech which you need to deliver is included in the ebook as well. And during their luncheon meeting, you're actually sharing 5 or 6 or 7 concepts which they haven't thought about in terms of their own financial planning and their own financial strategy.
So if you're doing 5 basic comments and you're doing 15, 20 minutes maximum, right? That's what I heard.
Absolutely.
And my introduction and my content, which I really like about this book because it actually helps me speak. And I love your lines. Maybe it's because we're Americans and we're hearing your South African accent, but really your pithy, high voltage vocabulary is really a head turning. And I think it gets the consumer, the American consumer, turns his head on that. So this really helps us walk through some of the basic content that we're going to be sharing, and my example, at this dentist meeting.
Well, absolutely. You want to have the words that captivate and intrigue people tremendously. So what you say during those 20 minutes is absolutely key. And the fact that you have some giveaways. Our state directory referred to earlier in the show, the 60-second pressure test, a beautifully printed, glossy sample financial plan, which you can give to folks. Maybe a book. Maybe the ultimate gift movie, which we talked about earlier this week in the show.
How about the financial key, which we talked about Monday?
Well, exactly. You collect all of those items in this week's shows together and create what's called a financial toolkit in a beautiful cardboard kind of suitcase, and you now have some real value that you're delivering to those 15 to 25 dentists, neurosurgeons, chiropractors, etc., which would encourage many of them to want to visit with you thereafter. A classic case study, one of our Northwestern Mutual representatives in Appleton, Wisconsin, who actually took his financial toolkit, sponsored a PD day of 20 CPAs, 15 out of 20 booked a meeting with him before he left the lunch.
Well, let's think about this, because to me, this is a powerful tool. When I come back from the break, I want you to walk me through some of the mechanics of why did you come up with this idea, but more importantly, how are you seeing them deploy? We talked about dentists. I want to hear some other professionals that maybe we wouldn't think about that we could actually enter into kind of a great sponsorship. Right after the break, we're going to talk about this. It's not how much money you make for your clients, it's how much money they get to keep, especially in retirement. But retirement income could cause Social Security benefits to be taxed. One tax advantage alternative is life insurance designed as a non-modified endowment contract that can generate tax-free income without taxing Social Security benefits. These contracts offer differing funding options depending upon your client's risk tolerance. For more information on how life insurance can be part of your retirement planning, just email me at steve@downtobusiness.tv. Brought to you by Ash Brokerage, the practice enhancement company. Well, welcome back to our second segment. Of course, we're with Anthony Morris. Anthony's walking us through some great strategies this week. Again, if you're just coming into our show Friday, I highly recommend that you watch Monday through Thursday show, and in sequence, I think you'll have a better tutorial experience. And Anthony's also giving away some great ideas, 6 different things just for watching our show. Anthony, introduce us to these 6 value-added giveaways.
Well, my powerful and jam-packed monthly newsletter filled with do's and don'ts, what to say, what not to say, what to send clients, what to show clients, what to draw for clients. Really, really powerful value there. A virtual coaching experience. Weekly video sales tips, 1 month for free. Little 2 to 3 minute silver bullet ideas you can deploy within minutes of me teaching them to you. Our estate directory ebook. How do you use that estate directory we referred to in this earlier in this week's show to be able to fill your calendar with more prospecting opportunities? We have our special report, 15 high voltage strategies which you can use once again to gain more clients, befriend and disturb more people. We have a voucher program as well, some great discounts available for free, and our 60-second pressure test, once again referred to earlier in the week, which you can deploy in your client building.
Again, just go ahead and look at this, order it, all 6 free giveaways from Anthony. Anthony, let's talk about a few of the other ones. We've talked about dentists, we've talked about physicians, we've talked maybe even about CPAs and attorneys. These are great PDs, our professional days. These are great opportunities. I want to go a little bit more, maybe a little bit across a different line. I heard you mention school teachers before. Talk about that.
Well, school teachers, if you have kids, you know that your kids have what's called a professional development day, when the school teachers, ironically, normally happens on a Friday, so that they get to leave early, I guess. School teachers get together for professional development days. They're learning about the latest whiteboard technologies, learning techniques, dealing with difficult kids, whatever, curriculum issues, etc. So you have 40, 50, or 60 school teachers all gathered in one place for an entire day. What a fabulous idea to go and sponsor the lunch at the Professional Development Day of schools. Because we find that 25% of school teachers are school teachers, Steve, not because they need the money, but because they are married to a much higher earning spouse who gets their summers off because they run their own business. And they want to be married to someone who also gets their summers off. And of course, the benefits to those school teachers are great too in terms of pension, medical, etc.
I think you just hit a gold mine idea here, because I think a lot of us are thinking myopically. Even when we do think about physicians as an example, maybe I'm trying to look at another area where actually they're married to wealth. So your school teachers, as you just give an example, are married to wealth, and that's the person your ultimate target. Maybe you're not your initial target, but your ultimate target. Here's another thing. These golf days, talk about that, because we have, our industry, of course, is replete. Everybody loves being on the greens. Talk about this, because most of the time we're all trolling the greens for new clients, but you have a totally different way of doing this.
Well, if we look at this week's shows, and that's why I want to join you in encouraging your viewers who've missed out on the previous 4 shows, besides today, to go back to the archives and actually view them. Because if you take the key elements of what you and I have shared this week, they all build a very powerful, what I call a financial resources toolkit, which in a cardboard box, you've got your financial key, a soft copy of your estate directory, You may well have a nice high gloss color sample financial plan in there. You could have the book we referred to, Estate Planning Through Family Meetings Without Breaking Up the Family. You could have your pressure test in there as well. And these become things that you can give away as a sponsor to Professional Golf Day. So we all know at the end of the golfing day that there's 60 to 80 gynecologists, chiropractors, physicians, dentists, whoever, gather at the 19th hole for a round of drinks and a meal and some prizes. And it's a fabulous opportunity for the cost of literally $20, $30, $40 worth of giveaways per client, per prospect, to positively engage them. Of course, you get 5 minutes of fame at the podium to hand over and describe what these tools are that we've described this week. And it's a wonderful way of meeting people in a very soft, low anxiety way and intriguing them a little bit about their financial direction.
I saw this with one of our agents who actually used your technology and actually leveraged it. He went and did a physician's meeting, and that physician's meeting, total cost all in, and I'm talking about everybody, I think it was 60 people there, and he had his only 15, 20 minutes of fame. I think it cost him maybe 10 to 12 plate because it's a lot cheaper than going out to the traditional evening seminar and so forth. And I could not believe the traffic that drew. And he then was asked back because he actually quoted certain phrases, some I think from this book, but just to really quote, to kind of really get his actual introduction down really cold, and actually had a wonderful time. So I'm just saying this is a really inexpensive, you still have to pay for the lunch, but it's better than, Ruth Chris Steakhouse in the evening. I think this is a huge idea. Before we leave for this segment, when you wrote this book, and I know that your intent, but what gave you the idea to marry these two ideas?
It was actually one of my coaching clients in Alberta in Canada, where I did a lot of work before moving to the United States, who in his third year in the business made $1 million. His third year in the business, $1 million. And what he did was he sponsored the professional development days of dentists and the people that own the dental manufacturing companies, because you know that the people who make the crowns and the implants are the ones who make the real money, not the ones who insert them, called your dentist. And he used to take them out to the helicopter hangar. He used to take them to the microbrewery and just buy them a nicer meal during their PD day. And he literally, his business is exclusively with medical professionals in the province of Alberta today. But he hadn't taken it to the level of what is the contract, what is the email, and what do you need to say. I've really industrialized that and packaged that into a formidable plug-and-play step-by-step system today.
Again, you just go out to Anthony's site and you can go ahead and get his book. It's really a great tactical issue. I think it'll really improve your skills, and I really like the strategy. Well, that's all the time we have for this day. Remember, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always consult your tax advisor, legal counsel, or your broker-dealer compliance officer. Missed an episode? Just go out to our video archives. And remember, you could be wiser as an educated advisor. I'm Steve Savant, and we'll see you next week.